Good evening. My name is Matt Newman. I go often by the alias Dude Wearing Shoes, and I am the developer of what's known as the Apigenin Protocol, which is the first over-the-counter, really natural means of resetting your epigenetic code that has ever been put together so far. Whether or not you can do this with other chemicals that can be easily accessible remains to be seen. However, from my understanding, it's going to be extremely unlikely. What we're talking about is Yamanaka factor gene activation. Essentially, over a decade ago, there was a lot of concern around stem cell research and aborted fetuses, and there was a spearheaded effort to try to generate a lot of these embryonic type cells ourselves without any assistance, or pluripotent stem cells, essentially. And eventually, in this research, there were derived 4 genes that could be activated that would essentially reprogram your cell back to a previous state. As you all know, cells will differentiate into a certain type of cell and then split and continue. And the way that they know what kind of cell that they are and where they are in development is because of additional data that's placed on top of the DNA. That allows it to provide context, essentially. What I have been able to put together is through a whole lot of different research from multiple teams, essentially a good idea of what it takes to build a mechanism that does this reprogramming and will safely, in the human body, take a cell and make it more epigenetically like it was, and it will have those encodings like it did before. This method uses a molecule known as apigenin. It is a flavonoid. It's found in nature, but in such low amounts, there's no way that you are going to get it in any natural diet. And it is the primary activator, I guess you could say, of these Yamanaka factor genes. In order for this process to work, it's been known for several years that it would need assistance with something called histone deacetylase inhibition, which would essentially unpackage the DNA from the histones, allowing you to be able to do these read and writes. It was essentially my understanding of these phenomena that had been observed with apigenin, along with the use of a histone deacetylase inhibitor, that led to my initial discovery. I immediately could tell in my body that there were some physiological changes that were going on, some very extreme ones. And I was very, very eager to have this shared with other people. And of course, I knew, you have to know, that you couldn't have had the puzzle complete in the beginning. It is very likely that I was going to have done it wrong, and that's what it turned out to be. There were multiple key components that we ended up also needing. And it goes through in the links that I've given you here. For one, you need a good source of B12 to be included, or you'll encode transcription errors. You're going to need a GSK3 inhibitor. Just because I've done it before, I've done it with and I've done it without this way, and I can tell you it's just a lot more comfortable. You're not going to want to do it without that. And really, downstream from that, it all boils down to nutrition. Rather than a lot of these complex cocktails that have been described by different researchers from other teams in other parts of the world, we're actually using a much, much simpler mechanism. There's really nothing that's similar that we know of that's similar to apigenin, other than its metabolite, luteolin, which effectively does the same thing, but is less effective. So essentially, I have been on the protocol for well over, I'd say, a month solid, maybe closer to a month and a half or 2. And I've been able to knock off what we believe to be at least several years. Now, there again, when I was doing this, I did it improperly to begin with. So your results will surely be better than mine. But really, this is as safe as it gets. I've also taken a cancer test just because some people are concerned. The upregulation of the MYC gene, or really it's more of a modulation of the MYC gene by apigenin in different tissues, is is an interesting point to bring up as far as the safety concerns. I believe that those are very well documented. However, with this molecule, you'll find that it's pretty concise and consistently expected to provide actually not a pro-tumorigenic outcome, but actually an anti-tumorigenic outcome. It remains to be seen the full degree to which this would be able to impact a human life. But I believe that we're at the very beginning of getting the data. I can show you right now, today, that I am several years younger than I'm essentially the same age epigenetically today that I was 4 years ago in 2020. There's a certain margin of error that they have with it with around a year. It's hard to really say for sure if it's a little bit older or a little bit younger than I was, but I mean, we're talking epigenetically, I'm around 27, 28, and I'm about to turn 33. And that's the same encoding level that I had 4 years ago. So I know that there are other people that are having dramatic effects from this after taking it, and I'm very happy for them. I wish that I only ask that those that have had a tremendous experience that they know would impact others, that they also step forward, because we're at the point now where we need that in order for the information to get out. I believe that it's simply a matter of time. This isn't, I've said for years and years, this is going to be the worst kept secret ever. I mean, people have been wanting to figure out how to reverse their age since before we really... It's going to be very different. And I look forward to looking into that day. I say it. I look forward to us just sitting together and being at peace with the fact that everyone gets to live forever because they deserve it. Which I think for some people might still be a difficult thing to accept. So, I will leave you with that for tonight. Please share this with the people that you love most, that you know that are going to be helped by it. It's here. It's here. So, thank you and have a good evening.